Welcome to Obscured Reality with Mark and Stephanie. From UFO sightings to the lost city of Atlantis, from alien encounters to the living dead, each episode will leave you questioning reality. If you're ready to explore the eerie, tune in to Obscured Reality, where mysteries come alive.
Let's just start it. Welcome back. Obscured Reality, Mark and Stephanie. We're here with you. And tonight, I need some sexual healing. I don't. But I'm going to have a hard time not making sexual references in tonight's episode.
Oh, is it? No, they're Virginia.
Today is still UAPs, UFOs, because something just came out and it's getting big. It's going to get bigger in November, allegedly. I can't help but think of a certain term when I read this, but guys, tonight's episode, Immaculate Constellation. Have you heard of Immaculate Constellation, Stephanie?
I have not, but I can take a pretty wild guess.
Oh, you can? Really?
I said wild.
Let's hear it. Let's see what you got. How close you get.
Immaculate Constellation. The random finding of a new constellation because of, obviously light takes its time to get to us. So, new stars
no.
based on light years. I don't know.
Nope.
I told you it was wild.
It could correlate. It might not. I don't know. Well, Immaculate Constellation, this is something that was just leaked by an alleged whistleblower. So I got this article from News Nation. However, you can find it anywhere. Most of you probably heard of this already. This is not that long ago, like a week. So a leaked whistleblower report says the Pentagon is operating a secret UFO retrieval program called Immaculate Constellation. This is according to independent journalist Michael Schellenberger. You guys have heard his name as well. So what the hell is this all about? Immaculate Constellation. So
a choice of a name.
Yeah. Immaculate Conception. That is all I can think.
Yep.
And I have, because of that correlation, I have a hard time getting to Immaculate Constellation if I'm not reading it and I think about it. I automatically think the other one. So the report revealed for the first time the name of an alleged UAP program, stating that the executive branch has been managing UAP issues without congressional knowledge or oversight, possibly for decades. So this we already know. I mean,
shocker.
This came out when, Luis Elizondo let the cat out of the bag. But we've known this for decades, that this was probably a thing anyways, right?
Yeah.
So, Department of Defense spokesperson Sue Goff, y'all have heard her name as well. Oh God, what's his name from the Black Vault? John Greenwald. He deals with her a lot when he's filing these gazillions of FOIA requests. She denied records of the alleged program in a statement to News Nation Tuesday evening. It wouldn't be the first time she denied something that was true. Quote, the Department of Defense has no record, present or historical, of any type of SAP called Immaculate Constellation, she wrote. SAP, Special Access Program. Schellenberger told my speech tonight, I think I'm just having a
terrible.
Probably
do you smell toast?
I smell it. Can you say spell it? I'm thinking it.
Smell.
I'll probably be having
toast?
a consistent aneurysm for about 45 minutes here.
Oh, great.
So that should make it more fun. Schellenberger told News Nation's Ross Coulthart, y'all have heard his name in this too, he has been in touch with the whistleblower, whose exact role and other identifying details, including gender, he has withheld because they fear what could happen if they were publicly known. But why? Everyone else is coming out. Let's see. Quote, I don't think that they are faking it or that they're lying about their fear, he said. This person discovered this material accidentally. This was not something they had expected to encounter. Now, I am not calling BS on this entire thing at all. I believe this happened. I believe it's happening, and I believe more is going to come out.
Mm.
I fully believe it. However, do
You have the time. Sorry.
do these people um, do people really come across this type of thing accidentally? I mean, if this whole thing, not just Immaculate Constellation, but this whole UFO thing that's going on right now and has been for a few years, this is all 100% true. We could trust it all. Um,
I
you
don't.
think they hide this stuff better? It doesn't.
You don't
Luis
just
Elizondo,
randomly mistakenly
no,
get different you know, like security detail. You know, like it's like no, oop, system fucked up. All of a sudden, you have classified
yeah.
clearance. Like,
Well, I mean, who knows how they came about it? But I mean, it could just be something like a document laying out. But here's the thing: is you don't typically come across something like this
oh,
accidentally.
exactly.
Number two, if you do, and say it was maybe a document laying out, and you happen to look at it real quick and like, whoa, what the f is going on here? The first thing that should be coming to your mind is with something that secret, especially knowing what we know now. Um, Maybe it was left out on purpose. But I'm not denying this happened. I fully believe this. So that fear is why Schellenberger said the whistleblower did not share intelligence imagery showing UAPs. The unnamed whistleblower said the DoD created Immaculate Constellation in 2017 after a New York Times report revealed another program known as the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. You've all heard of ATIP, right? The program that Lou Elizondo was heading
I
up
know.
for a
Yep.
while that the government originally said, Lou who? And then they came back and said, he didn't have any assigned responsibilities within ATIP, blah, blah. So, yeah, it kind of almost sounds like a continuance of ATIP.
Yeah.
Lou Elizondo comes out, they probably shut down ATIP, but they didn't really shut it down. They just changed the names as they always do. They may get rid of some people and get new people, who knows, but ultimately it's the same fucking program. They changed names to keep us out of the loop.
They have a history of that. They clearly have a history of that.
Exactly.
So, be surprised.
But here's the thing is this particular one is being identified as a UFO retrieval program, whereas ATIP, the one Elizondo was part of, wasn't about retrieval. So now we got to kind of switch our thinking and, keep it along the retrieval line. But now we think of the stories we've heard for decades and some very, very good, convincing stories of these fucking retrieval programs. We've been hearing this. I have no doubt that this is false. This isn't false. This is true. This is happening. Fully believe it. I'm very curious to see what comes of it, though. So the whistleblower report cites evidence, including allegations about UAP sightings collected by the Pentagon and intelligence documenting firsthand encounters with UAPs or UFOs that are kept in a database used by the intelligence community. I mean, makes sense, I guess.
It does, very much.
The report is also said to describe various UAPs in detail, including one where orbs, listen to this, including one where orbs surrounded an F-22 and forced it out of its patrol area, and one where the crew of a Navy aircraft saw an orange-red sphere descend from a high altitude. Where does this orbs surrounding an airplane sound familiar? You guys know it. I don't know if Stevie's... You know it when I say it, I think. Commercial airliner, MH370, disappeared around the Philippines. Nobody has a fucking clue what happened. And since day one, there's been a swirl of controversy surrounding it. And then years later, this video allegedly gets leaked. Have you seen that video? You've not seen it.
I don't think so. I mean, there's a
Oh my
possibility.
God.
Oh, look. There have been a lot of missing planes in that particular region of the world, the second
There
Bermuda
have.
Triangle. So I can't exactly keep.
Maybe.
So I can't exactly keep all the flight names in line. But I
MH370
mean,
was the big one. This was the one that was going,
because the one I
as
know of is
planes do.
Malaysian flight. Is the Malaysian flight?
That's this
Oh,
Malaysian
okay. So
flight
then yes, I know of this one.
MH370. Did you see but what I'm saying is, did you see the video of the orbs? Okay, guys, we're gonna pull this up real quick because this is related and not directly related, but it's the same fucking thing. Okay, so you're gonna get the video of this. I guess I need more MH370 orbs. There we go. There we go. We just gotta find it. Okay. There's a lot with this. I wasn't prepared to show this MH370 video.
Sorry.
So, you're gonna have to bear with me here while I find it. We're not gonna use any sound. There is no sound. So,
That's fine.
while I'm looking for a good one, what happened is, the plane took off and it was going somewhere, and then it disappeared and allegedly turned around and went over here, blah, 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 blah. Now, there happens to be I believe a Philippines island somewhere out there that the U.S. government owns. And guess what they have there? A secret military base. They fly in with planes. They fly out, for wars. It's a good stopping point because it is very long and far to get to the Middle East. So that's a perfect spot. Evidence is pointing to this video possibly is real. And there's some high quality people jumping on board now that don't give in to shit like this, that are like, this is probably completely real. I mean, this thing's been studied so much. I found one, guys. Let me
What was the flight number again?
MH370. All right, so let's pull up this video. Stephanie, pay good attention to this video. What am I trying to pull up?
God.
That one, yeah. Okay. And pull it up now. All right, so the video is believed to have been taken from a UAV, a drone of ours, unmanned aerial vehicle up there flying around. Let's watch this real quick. Here we go. And let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. No, let's just play it. So I hope they're going to show the whole thing. We'll fast forward a little bit. Boom, disappeared. You need to see the full video. Watch this right here. So, video from, I believe there's one's believed to be from a satellite, one's believed to be from a drone. And this plane's flying along, and you see it just as this drone's way over here. And it's at night, but you can see the contrails from it because of the infrared, whatever they're using. And then they go to, I believe it's the satellite view, and boom, this orb appears circling the plane. Then another one appears and starts circling and falls in line. Then a third one, same thing. And this thing just keeps going and going and going. Then it gets that one frame where it's going into those clouds over there. And it just like, whoop, gone. Here we go. Let's take a look. You're going to see a lot of different ones. I hope they show the whole thing. I mean, it's weird. It's odd. I'm gonna keep looking here. We gotta see what else. Hopefully they have something else on here. They just totally skipped it right there. It's just a picture. There you go. That's a good view. Boom. So, what do you think seeing that as I look for the rest of this?
So one of them was a drone, the other one was a satellite. Why was a drone following what at the time was just a normal flight?
Well, number one, who knows if it was actually following it? But that's a good question. Because this whole thing is believed to. I don't know that there's a full theory on it, but basically, our government did something or knows exactly what is going on with this. This one's not going to have the full video. I'm going to keep looking here. But
Okay. Wow.
this thing happened, and this is going to be, this is a whole show in and of itself for something like MH370. But
we're digressing.
I believe we have more of the video here.
I'm gonna definitely.
So
I
here
already
you see
pulled
the
up
thing
another
flying.
tab.
You're seeing the green here.
Mm-hmm.
That's the drone that this camera's mounted on.
Mm-hmm.
Now people have taken this drone. They've looked at it from all the angles and compared to where the camera is, and they've verified that this is this particular drone, and it definitely is a video from this drone, and they can tell just by the little bit of the drone that's in the screen compared to where the camera's mounted. Okay, so let's continue. So let's just start over. You're gonna see, boom, it comes into frame way down there. Like this thing's sitting here waiting, and you see it going. And the other thing is, it's believed that that's actually smoke, not contrails from it, because there's evidence there may have been a fire of some sort. But let's keep going. This thing crosses through that trail, that contrail or smoke trail. And now we come up to the rest of this. Now watch, because we got more of the orb part than they were showing in the other one, I believe. This is just a comparison video showing here's what a drone looks like. Because this was a contested video early on, and then they figured out exactly what that thing in the background was. Anyways, doesn't matter. This isn't about that. Here we go. MH370. Now watch, you're going to start seeing the orbs in a sec. Boom. Did you see that fly in from the top right of the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go again. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Swings back. Starts orbiting this thing. Now keep watching. There's a second one. Keep watching. There's the third one, came in from behind. 3 different directions. They keep following this thing. Clearly, here's the thing. MH370 was missing. If they were looking for it, they would have called it in. If they were just trying to help with a search or something, which isn't the case because this is, obviously during the flight. But they would have called something in. And there it just blips out of existence.
So where's that view from? Is that the satellite view?
I believe the left would be the drone and the right would be the satellite. Now, notice, Stephanie, that little explosion right there when it disappears. I'm probably not going to be able to. You saw those rings and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's sound waves.
Well, I can't get too much into this right now. We could talk after the show. We want to. Yeah. Tonight's not about that. So, that, I believe, you look at that, you'll get a good reference of what we're talking about in this current article about Immaculate Constellation. Okay.
You did it.
So remember, the report said to describe various UAPs in detail, including one where orbs surrounded an F-22 and force it out of its patrol area. So if it comes out, it's supposed to be coming out very soon, less than a month now. They're going to be going. There's a congressional hearing, I believe, on the 13th of November, and I believe this is going to come up. If this is verified, even if they just verify that Immaculate Conception is real, Jesus Christ, Constellation, if they verify that is true, then this orb thing we have to just consider is probably true. And
And
that matches what you just saw with the Malaysian MH370 flight.
right.
And don't forget the Navy aircraft saw an orange-red sphere descend from high altitude. Exact same thing I saw
Yep.
at one point. After which they described a sense of unease and feeling as if they snapped out of a trance. The Pentagon has long denied claims that there is any evidence to indicate non-human, alien, or extraterrestrial intelligence has visited Earth. In a May report, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or ARROW, that one is a legit.
I know, but dude,
I mean, they all are, but that wasn't my aneurysms doing.
that was the actual stroke that time.
Yeah. So in a May report, the ARROW said reports of unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAP, are the result of mistaken identification of drones, top secret projects, or other known aerial objects. That's a good point. And I say that because of something I have been thinking of with this whole thing is almost every single video that comes out, in my mind, does not have much merit. The reason why, there's nothing going on in those videos. And it really feels like from George Knapp and mainly Jeremy Corbell, we're being fed a story. And not just fed, but kind of like forced into just automatically thinking, oh yeah, that is what he said. The reason why is because he doesn't keep that the main point of each story. The main point is somewhere over here. You all those videos have been debunked. They're bullshit. And I gotta wonder to myself, clearly we know something's going on. Some of us seen it ourselves, but the whole thing has been happening with Congress. We know ATIP, we know Lou Elizondo is 100% legit. Why would they keep putting these videos out if they look like crap? You know, you don't see anything going on. And what we're hearing from like Jeremy Corbell is you'll hear like the I think it's the gimbal video. I'm not sure, but the one where they get a lock on that target, he's like, oh, got him, whatever.
Yep.
And they're following the thing in the video.
Yeah.
And then at one point, you see the object just go, whoo, and just move away. And Corbell says that, and then he's like, and what he tells you is, and this thing just boom, shut off. It was gone. But when you watch the video, you don't see it shooting off and it's gone. And what they've proven is that the drone or the aircraft's pod just lost the track. It may have been at the end of the angle that camera could angle back.
Yeah.
And you just see the object just going, and they've studied because there's clouds in the background. They verified the clouds are moving. Shit's not fake. They've verified the speed of this thing against those clouds prior to the camera getting lock on it, during the camera having lock, and after. It's the same speed the entire time. So nothing shot off, nothing did anything other than the camera, you know?
Yeah.
So, so mistaken. And my point was, what would be the reason for putting this stuff out? Because Jeremy's not dumb. He's a smart guy. There's no way he's seeing crazy shit happening in all these videos. I think they're trying to drum shit up to get Congress involved, which has been successful because there really is something going on. And you got to think, when those first three videos, the gimbal, the Tic Tac, and the other one was a Go Fast, I think.
Go Fast,
when they first came out, 2017-ish, when those came out, we had no information other than they were allegedly leaked, right? And then Lou Elizondo comes out at the same time. It's like, what a coinky dink. And then like a year later, Lou Elizondo finally tells everyone that while he was running ATIP, he saw those three videos and he submitted those three videos to be reviewed to be declassified. They were declassified. He quits. He comes out about ATIP and himself right after these videos come out. It's all a setup. And we know this, and this isn't necessarily a bad thing. He's in a roundabout way has kind of said it, I believe, as well. I firmly believe he did that on purpose because he was planning on leaving and doing this shit or whatever and trying to get this information out. And there was probably someone else inside working with him that was going to get those videos out, because now that they're declassified, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So you got to imagine this whole issue of those videos being legit, but not being what people like Jeremy Corbell are trying to tell you they are. They've clearly been debunked. They clearly show nothing. Why would Lou Elizondo, while he's in that position, go through the trouble of getting those declassified and put out, him himself probably full well knowing those videos are crap? Then why do that? And you got to think, of course they're not showing anything fucking crazy, because if they were, guess what? They never would have gotten declassified.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they declassify all the shit, and they're not going to. If that really showed some crazy shit that couldn't be debunked, they would have said, no, Lou, sorry. Right? So think about this stuff. It keeps adding up and making sense, but I think they're doing it because there really is something going on.
Yeah.
And those are probably the best videos he could find that were probably the hardest to debunk, or probably showed what looked to be the most anomalous out of all the videos he saw, and knows, hey, I can legit get those out. So let me try. Perfect. They declassified them. My buddy's going to send them out. Let me quit. Give me 6 months, a year, then, do whatever. And it's a good way to drum up attention to it and get people like Congress involved, which they've been successful in doing, which is good, because maybe there is something real happening behind the scenes. And of course, he'll never be able to get those declassified, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, Arrow said long-standing claims that the Pentagon is secretly studying UAPs are a result of circular reporting from a group of people who believe the rumor to be true, despite a lack of evidence. Rumors about the government and unidentified objects have existed since the end of World War II and the famed Roswell incident in 1947. Believers pointed to errors in the report and cast doubt on the validity of the claims. Skeptics, on the other hand, have said persistent rumors about government UFO programs are a result of government disinformation and social contagion, like the satanic panic of the 80s. Yeah. You remember that? I do.
Dude, I literally have a big ass sticker that says satanic panic on it in bright fucking red on my
I wouldn't be surprised if
Stanley.
you had a big tattoo of that on your back.
No. Trust me, it is the easiest way of not getting your fucking Stanley stolen.
Yeah. Yep. True.
Yep.
True.
Yep.
So this is a quote. This new whistleblower is not part of that circular reporting, Schellenberger said. I am confident of that. This person did not know the other individuals who verified the name of this program. It does not fit the theory of social contagion. Oh, so there's other individuals who have verified this for him, because he knows some people on the inside who are willing to give him some information but not come out publicly. Okay? Those who have suggested we need to look more closely at UAPs include high-ranking officials like former Assistant Secretary of Defense Christopher Mellon. He's been working with everyone, and I believe he was for a time, same as Lou Elizondo, working with Tom DeShlong from Bleak 182, his little group, Academy to the Stars, where they were looking at all this and said they were going to build this nasty spaceship out in space and blah, blah, blah. Well, Chris Mellon is totally legit and a really cool guy, and he joined that with Lou Elizondo. So they mention people like Chris Mellon and former Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe, even if they stop short of saying UAPs are alien in nature. So some recent UAP reports. In 2023, former Air Force officer David Grush, we all have heard that name, reignited interest in UAPs by claiming a secret UAP retrieval program was being operated by the Pentagon without the public or Congress being aware, which is a massive problem with Congress not being aware. Everyone in Congress should be aware. That way they can all equally argue and fight and vote on where funds should be distributed. His statement sparked a congressional hearing on the subject, and a bipartisan UAP caucus formed in the House of Representatives with lawmakers seeking blah, blah, blah. You all know how that go and how that's going right now. Yeah. Others have since come forward, their own stories. Former military intelligence officer, you already know his name, Luis Elizondo, and retired Army Colonel Carl Nell. Lawmakers from both parties have come forward to press the Defense Department for more transparency and have said the earlier hearing was not the last the public can expect to see on UAPs. Quote, no justification has been given for this level of secrecy, Schellenberger said, noting that efforts to discredit those who have come forward to speak about UAPs have ruined people's lives. He also recommended whistleblowers approach journalists or congressional staffers, saying that protections for whistleblowers who go to Arrow or the Inspector Generals for defense or intelligence are not adequate. Oh, surprise.
Who would have thought?
So this is interesting because there is supposed to be a congressional hearing coming up again about all this November 13th. I believe it's November 13th, right around then. Here's something interesting in a video I do not have pulled up, but Jeremy Corbell, you know, the guy who did the documentary on Bob Lazar and just magically appeared on the UFO topic as if he's been the one since 1922.
Yep.
There is a video of him right now, I believe, on his Weaponized podcast with George Knapp, and he is stating there's a ton of shit that's going to come out about this Immaculate Constellation, possibly some other things. There is a massive dump of shit that is set to come out depending on what happens on the 13th. And he said, if anyone is to come after any of these whistleblowers that are going to come out, Congress, if anyone comes at Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp in any way, shape, or form, he's meaning to shut them up. He goes, this will be out. There's multiple ways of this coming out. It's already in place and ready to be set in motion. If anything happens to anyone, the shit's coming out as of the 13th, depending on what happens. So interesting, because he's very adamant about it and he's holding himself to it. You know, this isn't just some video he's putting out that can be debunked. He's very serious about this. I'd like to see him questioned a bit more, though, and get some ideas of what's going on. With that said, we are almost done. However, something important to show you guys. If you've stuck around, watch this. Okay, I'm going to show you some pictures. Let's share the screen right now. Just kidding. Let's share it right now. This is from archives.gov. So if you want to get directly to where I'm at on the website, you want to follow the link you see up there, which is archives.gov/research/topics/UAPs. Apparently, like a month ago, apparently it was set in motion by Congress somewhat recently, saying we want shit getting released. So all these government agencies supposedly are now forced to release their UAP stuff. And so now it's in National Archives. This is where we're at, National Archive website. Follow that link, and what it's going to take you to is this page. It says records related to unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAPs, at the National Archives. Now, we're not going to read this. I'm here to show you pictures.
Right.
Look what they have in here. Records of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, photographs relating to agency activities, facilities, and personnel. This is records of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. NASA. Okay. We're only going to look at these photos right here, and then we'll be done, guys. We'll probably talk about it. This is straight from them. Do you see what I see? This is from NASA, man.
A big metal.
These aren't photos they took, but
it's wild.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
So what's next? Number 2.
What's
One
behind
of
door
these
number 2?
one of these photos, well, a couple of them, but one of these mainly, I think is very interesting, and I'll point out why when we get there. Maybe it's this one. Here's the second one. A little closer up shot there. You can kind of see a design in there, like,
No
yeah,
way. How very Jetsons looking.
yeah. Well, you know what that kind of resembles? What we've always heard, the Diglocta from Germany. I think it was Germany, or yeah, um, back in the day, the Nazis, Hitler, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Die Glocke is the German bell that is supposedly some UFO or something they made and could do weird shit. This kind of reminds me of that, the way it's described to look,
Yeah.
to an extent. Third photo. Oh boy. This is all through the trees. This is a good photographer. This thing
is
must have
the
been
same
moving
one,
slow.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. This looks like it's all the same one. I wouldn't not. Some of these may be a little different. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 4. Unbelievably clear. Number 4.
Yeah, imagine that.
I mean, this is a long time ago too. So
Yeah.
airbrushing stuff out and whatever could be difficult. But even from this far out picture, you can still see the lines in there make up that frame or whatever's going on. 110. So 111. Let's see what we got. This one. Look at that.
That's the middle egg one, yeah.
So, one of the things I find interesting about this whole thing, number one, is that it's on its side. However, I say that because you all know what I'm referencing. Bob Lazar saying this is how they operate when they're ready to go somewhere else. They turn on their side and then they're just gone, right? However,
wow, yeah.
What else he's said is that that's what's used like out in space, not in atmospheres, because you need that vacuum. Okay, so you got to be in space for that. But still interesting. Kind of. Let's go to the next one. The other thing interesting about that is you could see the apparent movement of this object falls in line with the movement of the trees. You know, the camera was moving, right?
Yeah.
So it creates this little bit of blur, and you see it with everything, including the object, right? And it doesn't appear that the blur in the object is any more or any less than the surrounding objects, which is good.
Yeah.
It just visually it appears to work. So you also see the glare of the sun. It appears right there. Shadow behind it. So that all makes sense. And let's look at the previous one to that one. Yeah, you're still getting the sun glare from the same side. Shadow effect on the back. Cool. All right. 112. I think we're on 112. Interesting. You still see the movement in there. Same with, because of the camera moving. You see the movement effects on the object and the surrounding. And which one are we on here? Last one? This thing moved around a lot. I'll tell you that much. Yeah. Interesting. So this is now in the National Archives. Admittedly, that this was from NASA. NASA has never said, well, they may have said a few things in the past about UFOs, but what do you think about those pictures, Stephanie?
Man. They look so fake. Like how are those the only clear pictures we have ever at all? Like
who says they are? That's the whole thing, is it's all being covered up and hidden. They're just forced to release stuff now.
I'm going to stand by what I said.
I don't disagree, but
because
I'm just saying.
You got so many pictures of it. It's like every single story report we've heard blur, is like a fast moving.
The blur from movement or the noise in the photograph, like this one, it matches.
I mean, it matches, yes, but at the same time, it also could very well be like I don't know, a toy like made on a frisbee that someone's launching in the
Exactly.
air. Like
Right. Well,
it,
maybe.
it looks like one of them like platter tops on top of
It's about
corrugated cardboard.
it's about the same height every time. Who knows what type of stuff they had out there and how high that actually
I
is.
just
But you could have someone with a ladder out of the view and holding up a fishing pole with fishing line and make this thing
right.
out of metal, tinfoil, whatever the hell, and hang it up, and there you go.
Yeah, I mean,
You
like,
know,
I feel like they released that as like a forced release because they're like, what can we do that is just the most ridiculous shit,
yeah.
but could
And,
pass?
well, one thing I didn't look for is, let's see if these are all close-up shots. I thought that
There's a
one does appear to
few,
be farther away.
but
So in that case, you'd need something like a crane, some type of crane. And keep in mind, this is a long time ago. These photos are old. What,
I don't
67?
think it says that. I don't think it's that big. I think that some of these are like super close up shots, and then
Yeah.
others are like
Well,
just out of.
none of them appear to be really
That one just
that
is like,
far
oh
away.
shit, we fucked up, and it like is like they didn't
Yeah.
like toss it right. Like it's freaking disc golf.
None of these appear to be really that far away, except for two. This one and the other one I mentioned. It
But
doesn't mean
it
they
just
are
looks
far
so
away.
staged. Like, oh,
Yeah.
let's do one over the truck now.
Yeah. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean,
I don't
are
know
there
what
things
to
going
think
on?
about
Yes,
it.
they just keep releasing like the most ridiculous shit.
Yeah. Well, it comes for me. The problem is, it's a government entity bringing this stuff out because they're supposed to. They're being forced to, and it's now on a government website. I nowadays I have a very hard time trusting any of it, from them, anything from them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, who the hell knows? What do you think about this Immaculate Constellation? I close my eyes to say it. It's like,
Oh, Jesus.
picture the word.
Do they?
There's more coming out.
I'm sure. Like,
Supposedly.
well, we'll see. Let's just get past November 5th first, and then we'll think about November 13th.
You'll live.
Yes. I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. I kind of feel like there's just been so many, oh, this date, oh, that date. It's like listening to the Born Agains tell us like, oh, Christ is coming back on this day, and them being wrong every time.
The stuff's all happened. The few things that, here's a date, that's all happened. You're talking congressional hearings, shit like that.
Congressional hearings, but they are just like, oh, well, if we're going to release this, or like that TikTok thing that we were talking about not that long ago with the Hubble, James Webb, that's what it was, the James Webb telescope. Like, didn't that kid like say that something was going to like happen in like a week and nothing ever fucking happened? Like, it's shit like that. Like, everyone's like, oh, this date, nothing ever fucking happens.
Well,
I mean, you can't, like, I'm talking about like something gonna happen. And I'm not talking about congressional hearings. I'm talking about like people saying, oh, well, we're gonna release this, or oh, well, this is gonna happen on such date, and it isn't.
The only person doing that I've seen, and not quite to that extent, is Jeremy Corbell, saying, oh, there's so much more to come, and then we go for a huge chunk of time there's nothing. But they are definitely working on this stuff. It's a fact. I mean, you can tell.
I'm not talking about
these guys.
Congress.
No, I know. These guys are dealing with Congress with this stuff to bring out whatever it is they're trying to do. So I do believe there could be reasons why things could be delayed. But what I really want to see from someone like Corbell, if he truly believes all these videos he's put out have some type of merit, I want to see him come out and retort to the people that have professionally debunked almost all of them.
Yes.
And nobody can seem to do it without arguing with specific people about it.
Yes.
Probably because they're right. These specific people that have debunked them. And we're talking professional. Here's my work. Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Nobody can yet.
Yeah.
So same with that MH370 video. They look at that part where it just boom, like a portal opens up, and some people claim that's from an old video, blah blah blah, and they found it and pulled it up and say, again, they're feeding you this narrative. They said, look, it matches 100%, but it doesn't quite match 100%. And I just saw something on it the other day. Someone came out and looked at it, and now this is a major professional. They're like, I think this is real. Here's why. And he goes through it. And he's saying, his claims that portal thing is some effect that was from a movie, blah, blah, blah. He's like, but it doesn't match. And you can see it doesn't match. You have to do a ton of editing to get it done, as well as some other people have come out and said, this might be kind of hard to replicate because of this and this and this. This looks legit, There's been one or two major people that have come out that I'm talking very smart. They don't fall for this type of shit, that are like, I have a feeling this is true. You got to remember, Stephanie, there's no real debris found.
I have a tab open on the back side of this so that as soon as we're done, I'm flipping back over that fucker and reading about it.
MH370?
Yep.
We're going to have to do a show on it because you got to look at the island that's near there that we own. There was reports since before that fucking video came out that they took it to that island. You look at the people who were on board, I'm not so surprised it disappeared. And you think about, well, what kind of fire could do that? They lost communication way before that. What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. Don't forget, in what country did this just happen in? Was it Iraq or Iran? Like a month or so ago, where all these people bought these pagers, right? Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
Okay, all those people bought those pagers, right? They worked for a specific group or department within the government or something like that, right? So there are hundreds of these pagers around there. And then all they did was, boom, send a number to that. Just a mass message sent to all these pagers. And boom, they did whatever they did. And essentially, it looks like they probably heated up the batteries, lithium batteries, and the batteries just whoosh, go out and you're done, Maybe it was a little different than that. I didn't look too much into it, but they could easily have done that on this plane to make it look like there was a fire and that was the issue. And now we have video that there was something else. You got to keep in mind also, there's witnesses in nearby island said they saw what they believed was a commercial airliner on fire with smoke coming out of it overhead. So yeah, Immaculate Constellation, keep your eyes out, because obviously there's going to be more coming out on this in November. I really hate not being able to switch it up, but there's too much of this stuff happening right now that it's got to be out there.
Yeah. Words.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is, because the next two shows, I'm telling you right now, unless something else comes up in the news, they're UFO. We're talking about the first UFO report ever, allegedly, as well as something else that was just released. We were going to do this, record that episode about a week ago, ran into some technical difficulties. However, this is a picture of the UFO that was shot down over Canada. You remember that?
Yeah.
You remember that, like a year or so ago, 2 years ago, a year ago, when we had the weather balloons, the Chinese spy balloon.
Yeah.
And then we had something that was shot down over Canada.
Yeah.
This is a picture of it, and you're going to be surprised. But not till we do that one.
Fuck you.
All right. Final thoughts. Do you hold any expectation for the middle
Absolutely
of November?
not. Nope.
I'm so sorry. You should.
I would rather expect nothing and then be very, very pleasantly surprised when something actually happens.
I think that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, that way I am never let down.
Mm-hmm. If you are expecting something big, comment. Also, like and subscribe. Share it.
That's what she said.
Yeah, share it. No, honey. Sharing you. Share me. Also, obscuredr1@gmail.com. If you have an obscure story of your own, shoot us an email. type story in the subject line. Let us know your story. We'll tell it for you on here, anonymously if you want. And if you want to be on the show, tell your own story, you can do so. Simple for you to do, hard for us. Easy.
Hard for you.
And you can tell your own story. We can have a chat about it. Anonymous again if you want. Up to you. With that said, I think we're going to call it a night. Peace out. Bow, 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 bow,
Thanks for watching. Be sure to check back with us often for new episodes. Feel free to drop a comment and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Obscured Reality.